Hey guys, welcome back to Surviving Solitude. This time, hopefully with no disruptions whatsoever. I hope you just appreciate my sibilance. Anyways, um, quarantine. This word in itself has become so triggering to hear because it brings back PTSD of this, my old schedule, which was sleep, eat, and then basking in self-hate and misery. It was genuinely terrible. It was often accompanied by Billie Eilish, which I did not mind, but it was still not healthy whatsoever. Mainly because, everyone's been saying this, but, everything felt like it was going wrong. I'd lost all my support structures, my friends, where I wasn't going to see them for a while. Um, like all my cast projects that I put so much time into were falling apart. My academics was now uncertain. And I was just very confused at what was going to happen. Everyone said this, and I'm pretty sure you said it as well. I missed school. I don't know what it was. Some sort of Stockholm syndrome, but I ended up missing school. The place that was apparently torturous was now, you know, something I wanted to go back to. So, what did I learn from this? I learned that I was obsessed with attention and I needed validation from everyone. And if you see this, this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I've obviously added the validation from others in there because that's essentially what it felt like. It felt like the validation from everyone else is what builds up and what I needed to reach everything else and reach my maximum potential. I had become so reliant on everyone else around me that I needed to use this time as self development. I was aware of that. And like, this was the triangle that I'm supposed to be building up, but it was toppling over, it was falling apart. Love and belonging, nope. Esteem was essentially like it was falling apart by the minute, and self-actualization never happened in the first place. And I wanted to get it back in quarantine. I wanted to achieve it, but that was also not there. It felt like I only had my main two things, the bottom tiers in that case. So I fixed this using social media. I mainly used Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok. Um, from In order to get that social connection and feel a friendship, I needed to use social media to kind of reach out to people, which was harmful but also super helpful. I remember using these apps, and I mean, not remember. It was very recent, and I still use them. That in the first week of quarantine, I downloaded all these apps. Well, I used to have them before, but I got into them more, and I ended up adding over. These apps would allow you to add Snapchat friends from all over the world. And I ended up adding over 130 people in the first month. It literally blew up. I made so many new friends, but also there were so many drawbacks, as you can imagine. If you're talking to so many people, you're gonna have so much fun. I was literally calling someone new every day, or there was drawbacks like this. I was still becoming so dependent on other people, and I was not growing as an individual. My self-esteem was constantly suffering. I was over analyzing every text, and it was just unnecessary worry and stress. I bet you know how that feels. It's like when you're texting somebody, you just want to know someone. It's like you sometimes just overanalyze text because you don't have any emotional, physical cues to go over. You don't know what they're like. You don't know what they're feeling. You don't know what they're thinking because you can't see them. Wait, sorry guys. So, I mean, that was all super necessary for me, and so I developed something called I mean, considering everything that went wrong, like, did I stop social media? Not really. I've still not stopped social media because I realized that in balance, it's the most effective. We'll get to that later, but I didn't totally stop. It took me a while. I had to first develop something called Rishi's Quarantine Glow Up Plan. And this is what this message is about. It's about how I planned something over quarantine that you guys could hopefully look at and maybe grow from and learn from. So, what were the three aspects of this? You've heard of these before: physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. They all had three different distinct categories, and that's what these are the three aspects I basically aimed on growing. Physical health was the first one, a focus on health and body. There were three main aspects to it: exercise, healthy eating, and body positivity. Uh, First one, exercise. Exercise is all about motivation. Sorry. If you don't have a motivation and you're lacking it, you're not going to be able to get that drive. And I bet you all know this. It's a lot about motivation. And the thing is, when you have a positive attitude toward exercise, it works better. It makes it more effective. And the way I got motivation is through things that I already had. So like wearable technologies, like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something else. You can probably count calories. It's very motivating to see that you're actually making numerical indents in your, I don't know, like you're burning calories and you can see that you're improving your health. You can also like measure heart rate and all that. It's just a really good way of seeing change actually happen. Um, so it's very effective in that sense. You can also use these three apps which I have down here. Now, I personally am obsessed with running and biking. It's one of my favorite things to do, and that's why I have these apps over here. Now, photography is not just running and biking; you can use it for anything, but it's like competitive. Um, it's like a competitive sort of workout thing where you can like add friends and you can like play games on like how much you work out. NRC, Nike Run Club, which comes with the Apple Watch, but you can download it separately, and it's I think it's the best app for measuring how much you're running and calories. I don't think calories, but how much you're running, your pace, and it's just very motivating. Last one, Zombies Run is one of my favorite. If you don't, if you can't rely on self motivation, use this, where basically when you're running, it plays like this TV show in your head because you're wearing headphones, and it's like a zombie apocalypse as you're running, and if it's nighttime, it's especially scary because sometimes you'll get like these waves of zombies that'll come at you, and because it's like surround sound, it feels like they're all around you, and it's genuinely terrifying. So I recommend trying it out. And it's also motivating because you want to keep learning about the TV show because these characters you genuinely get in, like you invested in them. So you could try any of these three out. I think I find them the most useful. And now that you have time to go outside and run, being safe, go out and run and try it out. Secondly, eating healthy. Eating healthy is, sorry, I need a lot of water. Eating healthy is one of the most, it goes hand in hand with exercise. They complement each other. How much eating should correlate with the exercise you do. And regardless of who you are, unless obviously you're, for like a normal eating habit, it's just a balanced diet. If you're, training or something else, which I don't know if they're doing that in quarantine, obviously then you have whatever your coach tells you to do, but otherwise a balanced diet is the most effective. Eating well is less about motivation; it's just more about knowing and self-control. If you know what's going in your body, it's just better, and you will genuinely avoid it. That's what works for me. So, like, I learned to read nutrition labels. I do biology, so I kind of got more into the biology aspect of what I'm eating, and I learned about how bad are the things that are going in my body. So now I can read a nutrition label and know what's crap for me and what's not. Learning to cook is also really effective because you know exactly how much salt and how much of everything that's going in your food. I don't really cook; I mainly bake. So I've kind of stopped baked goods from outside. I often just bake whenever I'm feeling like I want to, and I know how much of what to add to maintain my sugar intake and everything. And lastly, water. It's easy. You probably see me. I drank water twice. Water is, I'm running out now, but I genuinely, it is the best thing for your skin, for your mind, and it helps you just, you know, hydration is literal magic. Anyways, at the end, we have body positivity, which is essential for mental and physical well being. You know, it's less about acceptance, and I know it's controversial, it's less about accepting the things that you feel are not good. It's more about positively, constructively critiquing yourself in order to create healthy and positive goals. It seems so open. I added a bunch of adjectives in there that you have to consider: healthy and positive goals and constructive criticism. That means you make a critique and you find a way to get to it. You don't just stop at self hate, you turn that into a goal that is healthy and attainable. Um, Also, take some time off social media. I deleted, not I didn't delete because I didn't have the capability to do that, but I just got off TikTok, for example, for a long time because I knew it was hurting my mental well-being, especially in terms of body positivity. And I mainly focused on setting goals for myself that I might have learned. Focusing on self-care and grooming is also really effective because it gives you the confidence. Talk to your friends; they're going to give you that confidence as well. I bet they wouldn't mind giving you a few compliments here and there, which always helps. Nothing ever comes bad from a compliment, mostly. And uh, also considering that the topic of body positivity is very much centered on women, and the guys, you need to realize that you might be facing this as well, and you probably are because you would know. And if you are facing this, it's better to talk to someone and not take it personally, but take it as something you can improve towards. And that is for everyone. All right, guys. So now stepping into mental health, a focus on the self and the mind. Um, there are three aspects which I considered: maintaining social life and dealing with stress, academics, and boredom. These are the three main aspects. I'll be covering academics and boredom in spiritual health a bit more. We'll be focusing on the first one here, where maintaining a social life was also with balance of social media, because that's the only way you can kind of meet them, other than calling up and Zoom. Talking to friends is really effective way to just vent and get emotions out, and I'm all for it. Social media is also a great way to reach out to people that you haven't spoken to. And getting to that point, it's like we're all from international school. We all have friends who we've left behind, and we've all had friends who've left us. And maybe use this time to reach out to the people you haven't spoken to in years, because it is because revel in the nostalgia, reconnect, and then maybe zoom in with them. I recently did that a few days ago, and it was one of the best nights I've had. We spent about 4 hours just talking about um, our time in eighth or seventh grade, and it was just one of the best nights I've had. You can also play the compliment game, which is something I really encourage, which isn't really a game, but it's more of a challenge. And I'm challenging you guys to take it on because I think it's going to help the grade get so much more integrated, and just become a better place overall. Where if you see something online, social media, that you think is amazing, that you think someone is doing something really great, or you think someone has just, posted something that you really like, you enjoyed reading it, or you think that they look really good in a photo, compliment them. It doesn't matter, because I know that a lot of people get stuck in the barrier that like it's creepy to compliment someone, or like they don't accept the compliment sometimes. It isn't creepy. It's you can't. No one's gonna think of a compliment coming to them as something invasive. It's going to be always very nice, especially because you would know them in real life. And try to do that. I've been trying that for a few weeks. Some of you might have actually been a part of it, and make them genuine. Don't make them disingenuous, and don't go for close friends. Start off with close friends. I did not do that. I pushed myself into a leap, and I started just sending messages to people who I thought genuinely did something that was really cool. You know, or like I would question somebody, or I would ask someone like, what do you think about this? Try to start genuine conversation who you wouldn't normally talk to, and then come back with better friends, which is weird because then you would come back with more friends at a time of social distancing. Also, you can practice self-care first of all, and also building more interpersonal relationships with family. It's really effective. With the people around you, play some Uno, go play some Monopoly, cook with your family. Um, I don't know. You could do so much. They've literally been with you your whole life, and build that relationship further. Maybe have a type of conversation you've never had before. Take that risk to, open up to them a bit more. Up to you. Um, Another one, fixing your sleep schedule. Essential to manage stress. I know it feels like with the IB, you need to constrain your sleep in order to get your work done, but that's not the case. Sleep is going to make you do worse on exams, perform worse in school, and you're just not going to be able to retain as much information. So fix it to not, at least, I'm not going to say 8 hours, but at least try 6 to 7. Yeah, it's really going to change up how you view stress and how you feel stress and how you deal with your work. Last one, this is super effective: redecorate and reorganize. move around your bed a little bit, change where the cabinet is, redecorate, make some new decorations and put them around your room. Make your room feel more like you. You're stuck in your room this whole time. Make this place the most you can make it. I'm gonna get to the rest of the two I said a bit later, but I want to just leave this quote up here and have you guys kind of think about it. Boredom is simply the absence of an interesting perspective. It's very interesting to think about, um, and just think about it. Do you agree with it or not? All right, guys. Moving into spiritual health to help you transcend into literal greatness. Not like saying you're great already, but you can transcend into like you can become a literal. Oh my God, you can become a god. Um, so spiritual health has very little to do with religion itself. I am not religious, but I feel like I have achieved some parts of spiritual health, because it is an essential part in the growth past mental health. And it enables you to self actualize and really trust yourself and believe in yourself and helps you find your own purpose, and become a god, a literal god. Jokes, jokes. No blasphemy. Anyways, I want to get to something that is very effective. And I think this is a process I use and I created. Um, and it's just a way to grow from adversity. We're presented with this huge challenge of quarantine and lockdown today. And the point is to grow from it and not just to revel in the sadness. And the way I do it is through this method, where a problem would arise, then you would verbally rationalize it in your head. You would say it out loud and you would try to look at all perspectives and rationalize it. Then a visual brain dump. You would take, I don't have it here, but I am obsessed with whiteboards. I will just take and I'll write it on my board, like large, and I will try to like see everything I'm thinking about in a physical way because it's so hard to keep everything in your head. Just like word vomiting it onto um, a physical surface that you can see is just very effective. After you've seen all of that creative expression or any form of expression, take that problem and turn it into art. Turn your pain into creativity. Turn your pain into expression and make that problem something tangible. Make a piece of art or I don't know, watch a video or read something or educate yourself or express yourself in a way that you can see and it's tangible so that that thing is physical, which expresses your emotion. That physical object is going to be a representation of the problem you faced. And that is, for me, it is so effective. Mainly because I am an artist. I do all forms of art, and this is the way I deal with things like stress, fear, insecurity. That's the point. When you face a problem, don't solve it, seize it. Take that as an opportunity, trap it, and explore yourself through the problem. I wish I could show you right now. I would turn my mic around, but I don't. I don't want to really mess up the setup I have here. But like yesterday, for example, this happened yesterday. I was going through a few things, and I was like, let me utilize this. So I couldn't keep it all in my head, so I took a whiteboard and I just started scribbling it all down onto my mirror. And if you look at my mirror right now, it literally has a bunch of affirmations and messages to me. So whenever I open it, I feel so much better about myself. I'm still yet to get the creative expression part, but I have done this before. I created some art. I went into things that I didn't think I would do before. I wrote poetry. I know it's weird. I became an edgy teen. I somehow wrote poetry about what I was feeling, and I felt, and it was the most relieving thing. I'm not saying you have to do poetry. It's up to you. You modify depending on who you are. I know some people don't like to express themselves that way, through creativity or literature or art. So if you are do it like you can innovate, you can think about so many different things to express your problem because whatever you're going through, I bet almost everyone is going through as well. Everyone has faced something, like we all have common hardships, especially in this time. So express it. Now you might be like, okay, I don't have time to write poetry or like make artwork. How am I going to do this? How am I going to fit it into my busy schedule? We all do the IB courses or not. We all have to do IAs. The IB has such a big focus on personal growth and all these personal projects that it gives you the opportunity to grow. You know, take your math IA as not a chore. Take it as something you're going to learn more about yourself from. That's why you have a criteria called personal connection. That's the goal of the IB, to make you grow spiritually. You know, if you're into, let's something like fashion design, and you feel like nothing in school is applying to what you want to do except for your art class, it doesn't have to. You know, again, take your math IA, or if you do econ, take an econ IA and transform it to fit your personal connection. Or if you have a problem that you've been facing, learn about the problem and do it. You know, it's easy to always go for the research question that is something that's so simple and you can easily answer. But sometimes go for the research question that you are genuinely not sure about. Follow through with the full academic process of going to something that you do not know about into something you have now found out about yourself. It's going to make it so much stronger. And it's going to make you feel better about school. And it's not going to make you feel like it's just a random chore that you're doing. Because when you do something that you love, it doesn't feel like work. I'm pretty sure you all can relate to that. Um, lastly, it's about finding a purpose. Finding a purpose is the essential goal. And it fits in back to this. The way you express yourself, and the more you learn about yourself, and the expression you find the most effective and the most therapeutic and the least stressful, is what is going to be your purpose. Is what is going to be your purpose in life, or what is going to be your calling. And that's why I promote the self exploration. Then you can find out what you like and what you want to do. And we're all facing the struggle with career and everything, you know. And at this age, it is essential to find and grow your purpose. You all, I'm pretty sure, have an idea of what you want to do, and you can grow that from here, from adversity. If you can deal with problems with this method and this way of working, I'm pretty sure you can do it for the rest of your life. Well, think about it realistically, right? And talking about realism, it's the pursuit of happiness. You know, everyone says pursue happiness in what you're doing because it's gonna be the best. It sounds so cliche, but it is so comprehensive. It takes in the most, you know, optimistic and realist approaches and puts them into one. Because what makes you happy is, again, what determines your purpose. For me, for example, art and creativity makes me happy, right? But also, like, if you, okay, let me give you an example of me. I'm going to put myself out there a little bit. I am upset. I love theater. That is one of my passions. You know, that is something I love to do. That if I did that for the rest of my life, I would be the happiest. But also, what makes me happy is having a stable life, is having a stable career. Not to say that theater is on a stable career path, but looking at statistics, it isn't. It isn't the most. And mixing that together, I have found my career path that I love. You know, other theater, I also love justice, and I like to be an activist and fight for people. And taking that love, I have chosen the career path of law. And I think this will be the best for me in being stable and in being happy with what I do. For me, long work days are not a problem, but for some people they are. And it's all about that balance. And it's all about what you want to do and what makes you happy. And happiness needs to comprise realisticness. It can't all be so idealistic. And that's what you need to consider. But obviously, no one's saying that if you want a stable life, no one's to say that what you want to go into doesn't have a stable career path. Yes, it does. If you work for it and if you're willing to do that, you can. But I feel that for me, this would be the best. So it's what makes you happy. And if you want to work towards a career goal that a lot of people say won't work out, don't listen to them. Do what you want to do, because that's what's going to make you the most happy. Again, it's a path to happiness. It's not a path to, you know, your parents' ideals. Anyways, guys, that was the end of it. Um, that was the end of it. And I just want to end this by saying this presentation obviously has been through a lot. It's been a ride, and I want to thank all of you for your support and your kindness and your genuine interest in the presentation. You know, after the first day, the amount of support I got was immense. I cannot, like, it was like from every group in school and from people who I haven't talked to for years. And it was it was overwhelming. And this is what I love about our grade. We have this mutual sense of support. It's not as separated as people believe. And I am just, you know, I've been able to apply these ideals, which I just talked about, this glow up, and use it to deal with any sort of adversity. And I hope this can help you guys. If you guys have any ideas or critiques of the presentation, because this presentation was mildly controversial, if you have anything against it, please reach out to me. I am willing to have a conversation and talk. If you want to talk in front of the entire grade, like what I just did, I think you can reach out to Misfit too, or like something, because everyone encourages this, and I'm just very excited to be giving you guys something that is so personal to me. Um, Bye, guys. Have a great quarantine and stay safe.